Remember this scene from The Natural. I knew one of those once. So did he.
Dana Bailey was the finest athlete I've ever coached, male or female, and there's some great athletes here today.
Dana loved the game, and it loved her back. She was an all-star every year since she was 10 years old. At Parkway High School, her senior year, she was all-district, all-city, all-state. Dana Bailey was driven to win.
Dana was the only person in the world who could make you get up early on a Saturday morning and run the stadium at Parkway for fun.
That drive paid off. She signed with Florida State and the honors followed. But her sophomore year, Dana made a decision that would change her life.
And I remember being in the batting cage with one of my coaches, and she was just, "What's happened to you? Where did this come from? You're a new person on this field." And I remember, and I just told her, it's God.
From that day forward, Jesus was her Lord. She married Manny Coya, and they became campus pastors. Started having babies, 4 boys. For the next 15 years, Dana lived out the Christian life, serving and loving people unconditionally. When the cancer came last winter, so did the love, overwhelming love, in text messages and Facebook posts by the hundreds. And when the cancer returned, this time in her brain, Dana kept fighting to finish raising her boys. But when Dana knew the end was near, she called in those 4 sons, did what she has always done, spoke life into each one, much the way her husband did the morning of Dana's funeral.
You have your mother's ability, and you have a maturity about you way beyond your age like your mother. You have your mother's creativity. You have your mother's joy. Never let that go. You have your mother's brilliance, her sharpness of mind, her ability to know things very well. You have your mother's selfless humility. She would die for anybody, and I believe you would do the same.
The next morning, the Parkway softball team, the current one and the girls from '95, met one last time on the old field.
And this field's never going to be the same without her being at shortstop.
Then an old classmate summed it up for all of us.
And that's the way I want to live my life. And when God comes calling for me, when it's my time, whenever that is, I mean, who doesn't want this?
Who doesn't want this? Hundreds of people traveling from all over the country to say goodbye to a 37-year-old shortstop who played the game like the natural she was and showed a whole lot of people what a champion really is.
You see, we mistake this thing we call life as being it. And it's just part of a journey. When you make a difference in another person's life, you're a champion in God's sight.